I'm Hsu, the director of detention. The reason we started this production was because I've been a video game player for more than 30 years. And as you know, this story was based on a Taiwanese video game. So when I first played this game like 3 years ago, I was like so touched by the story because as a gamer for so many decades, it's hard to find something like this that's telling a story that only a Taiwanese can tell, and also it's so relevant to us. So for me, it was like a pleasant surprise. So I started preaching about this game to my fellow filmmaker friends, saying that someone should make this into a film. And then they start asking me back that if I want to be that someone. In the game, that it was actually an adventure game. So during the gameplay, you have to solve puzzles and piece together the narrative. But as a film, you cannot do that. So we had to find the essence of the story because it was told also in a non-linear way. But they're using game as a mechanic to tell this story. So we have to find that essence and reconstruct everything during the script writing process and retelling a story as a film. So we spent about 1 year trying to figure out the structure of the story and working on the script. And we also spent like more than half years editing and reconstructing it again during the post-production. So you can say that the whole narrative has been like changing constantly until it's done. When I first heard about this game, the only thing I know is that the story background is going to be in that time, but I didn't know that it was so relevant to the White Terror period. So I think that my most surprising part was that they actually found an important message for younger generation that why they need to remember our own history. So that gave me this idea to pass on this story to non-gamer audience. So what we are trying to do is that while being faithful to the game, we're also trying to retelling this kind of a story to a younger generation, because I think that for people that are around their 20s, they probably never heard of Hou Xiaoxian or Edward Young. Even if they do, they probably never seen their films. So it's kind of important for us to use the other kind of narrative to tell them this kind of story. My film education is basically based on New Taiwan cinema because all my teachers work in that period. But at the same time, I grew up in the 90s. So I basically grew up with Japanese films, Hollywood films, and Korean films. So that gave me the other perspective to tell a story. So my background is more like a mixture between the two. So because coming from the film education from the Taiwanese cinema, we kind of learn how to observe a period of time a little bit distantly, but also focusing on the character themselves. At the same time, we also learned a lot of like Western American narrative structure, so that gave us another standard to balance it out. I think there are a lot of young filmmakers like me that are our background is coming from both sides. I know a lot of filmmaker friends are trying to combine this Western story structure with something we learned from school about the Taiwanese cinema, that we're still trying to figure out what's the middle ground of it. So yeah, hopefully something will pop out from it. I think we're just having a start right now. Yeah. I think we're just trying to figure out what we should do as a new generation of Taiwan filmmaker. But I think there are still many different kind of filmmakers are trying different ways. Some of them are still more leaning to art house film, and my career is more like I'm trying to find a new void as a genre film director. So I think there are a bunch of us. So yeah, not sure yet. My next project is going to be a satire on horror genre because Detention is actually probably my most serious film, and most of my previous short films are either comedy or satire. And I really want to do something about the horror genre because even if I like the story of Detention that much, I'm not a big fan making horror films. So I kind of want to make fun of it to let some energy out. I hope you enjoy the film.